Just 10 cents a day helps fund local programs like Scenic Stops, Northwest Ohio Journal, and BGSU Brain Game. Watch, connect, explore.
Here at Winous Point, we try and stick to a lot of the traditional methods of hunting or the traditional ways that things have been done at the club, you know, in the last 160 years now. A wealthy businessmen from Cleveland and Sandusky started hunting here probably in about the 1820s or 1830s. They traveled by steamship to this area because there was no roads at that time. Well, between Pickerel Creek Wildlife Area, McGee Marsh, which is a state hunting area, and then the Ottawa National Wildlife Refuge and a few other little pieces of property that they own. There's four, I guess, big areas, big public areas. Between them and Winous Point and some of the other local hunting clubs, there's about 30,000 acres of wetlands here in Northwest Ohio. Wetlands are so important, you know, for a number of reasons. Water quality and flood retention. And then the obvious is wildlife habitat. I mean, there's so many plant and animal species that are specialized to wetlands. And there's such a rich diversity of plant and animal species in wetlands that whenever you lose wetlands, you're losing an important part of the landscape.
The hunters are really the true conservationists because they're willing to reach in their pocket and, you know, buy a hunting license, duck stamp, whatever it takes in order for them to maintain wild areas so they can hunt and fish. So these are areas that are hunted, but you got to also understand these are areas that are also that, you know, other wildlife exists, you know, whether it be, you know, birding opportunities or whatever it is. So hunting is just is a very small aspect of what a wildlife area provides, not only for wildlife, but for public as well.
In Winous Point's case anyways, it's the hunters that are funding, you know, the members of this shooting club are funding all the work we do. And if we just sort of walked away and just let it go on its own, the dikes would erode and Lake Erie would begin to wash away the wetlands. Invasive plant species would take over large areas of the wetlands and destroy the natural habitat that's there right now.
There's no single group in the United States that has donated, contributed, whatever you want to call it, has done more for wildlife than sportsmen. I mean, no question about it. You know, if you want certain species to thrive, you know, sportsmen are willing to, you know, step forward and pay the bill, and they have done for years and years.
Hunting tends to be very generational that way. You know, it's passed on. It's a tradition passed on through family. Jim and I that were hunting with you guys today, you know, our fathers and our grandfather hunted and passed that tradition on to us. You know, if it wasn't for the previous generations of hunters that protected this area, not just Winous Point, but all the wetlands that remain in this area, you know, if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be here for us to use today, there's no question. And when you get involved in sort of that mindset and that culture, then it's just a natural extension to want to continue that and, you know, work towards that same goal.
Scenic Stops is brought to you by WBGU-TV. Support great local programming by giving now at WBGU.org/pledge.